Entrepreneur 5.0 is identified with the 5 I's. Previously, we were just talking about income, but now this balance off with impact as well on the side. So your business is not just for profit, it's for purpose. Yeah. Then at the legs, you'll see that instead of just leveraging on high tech, many people talk a lot about digital adoption, transformation, but they forgot that the human is still behind all these services. So Roger's stand is very clear that you can't just rely and subsume or subcontract your work out to just robots, right? You need to have the human element, and COVID has made it very clear that the human touch, the EQ, the humanity part of businesses is so important. You know, with the rise of mental health issues, etc., you need that emotional layer, right? Not just digital. And then right at the top will be insight. So with insight, insight peers into the future. It gives you vision, it gives you clarity in chaos. So all these innovative and insightful mindset actually helps define the future entrepreneur. And the entrepreneur needs to constantly reinvent himself. That's one of the biggest lessons and takeaway from the last 2 years, right? We have to constantly reinvent ourselves. We cannot adopt a passive posture. We have to keep moving, and we have to keep looking for new ways, new solutions to current problems. Okay, so this is the 5I, Entrepreneur 5.0. The 5 fundamentals. If you want to take a screenshot, everything today is copyrighted free. So you can just take your screenshots. Okay, I'll move on very quickly. Okay, so here's the Genius platform. Genius U, okay, if you're having different devices or you're on your laptop and you can just cross over to that platform or your web browser, you can actually type in geniusu.com. Geniusu.com. Registration is free. You can learn things for free at the outer platform, the surface platform. It is the world's #1 entrepreneur education platform. And I am the Singapore country leader for this. It actually started in Singapore about 2 years ago, and then COVID hit us, right? So everything has been kind of laid low in terms of Singapore, but we've got 45 overseas cities in the world that runs this in the last 15, nearly 20 years already, because Roger Hamilton actually started this 2 decades ago. And now it's the world's #1 ed tech platform. Our close competitor is Coursera. And during the pandemic, we kind of scaled all our work online and was able to hit a global net worth of membership and subscription of over 2 million people. Profit-wise is 300 million. And then last year, just 6 months ago, we listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So now is what we call the quiet period. And just for family and friends, I mean the shares, etc. But this year, they're going to launch it big again, somewhere in June. And in Asia, particularly Singapore, Roger is very adamant in launching this once again, kickstarting this whole program. Now, because Roger is such a, he's the founder, developer, of course, of all the tools that you can find on Genius U. He is such a futurist. So he peers into the future and he says, okay, Asia is the big next giant in the sense of entrepreneurship. And so even though the headquarters of Genius U can be found all over, there's no real headquarters because he believes in integration, right? He's now residing in Portugal, Europe, because Europe kind of is opening up quite fast. In Asia, Australia is doing very well. We've got places in Malaysia as well and a few others. But our sister partner is actually in Bali. So Bali, there's 2 Genius centers. One is a spa resort, entrepreneur spa resort, where initially through this high touch element, we have brought entrepreneurs over for retreats, 5-day retreats, even 3-day retreats. And that is something that we wanted to kickstart again, but we couldn't. So basically what we've done this year is that we'll book a local with a local partner hotel, and we're going to run that. next month. Okay, next month, and you're free to join us. In fact, that will kickstart the whole EAP program properly. Anyway, Roger is well known for his profiling tools, and particularly the impact and the wealth dynamics, which has been running for over 15 years already. I would say the last 10 years has been, there was a surge in popularity, but he developed this in Singapore, okay, in Singapore, because he grew up here as a boy and then shuttled back and forth Hong Kong and Australia. So the head office of Genius is actually in Singapore. It's registered in Singapore. So if you go in, you will see that there's a multitude of different assessment tools, systems, and community. I think the community is ever growing. It's now more than 2 million members, like I said. And the community is divided into so many different clusters, sectors, as well as ranks, right? You can be a developer of training programs, and you can have your online training listed there. You can be a consumer, and you can go around taking free micro degrees under the different micro schools, because during the pandemic, actually, Genius acquired a few schools, a university, in fact. So they are in the midst of restructuring this year, and this restructuring will not end until the next 2 years, which is great because it's all pioneering in the sense, right? The currency that they use is called GEMs, Genius tokens, right? But again, Roger insisted that they restructure that tokens into cryptocurrency. So he's such a futurist, right? So today I'm going to share a little bit of the wealth dynamics, because this is his flagship profile. This is the flagship profiling tool. But on Genius follows the philosophy of what Roger entails, which is the Entrepreneur 5.0, the 5 I's, right? So it's always impact over income, because in this day and age, when you talk about impact, and I do want you to really cross-reference your business, your current business, or the business that you're starting up, does it have some kind of social impact? Does it have some kind of mission that helps people and solves the real problems in today's world? Right? So like for me, for us here at Genius, we kind of follow the 17 sustainable goals, because Genius has a tie-up with the SDG goals, the council, the UN council. And there is a free assessment as well to kind of measure or to identify, firstly, your personal passion and impact, and how that translates into your business. What kind of impact business do you run or intend to run? Like for me, it's about 3, 4, and 10. Can you see? So 3 is good health and well-being, and this one has again risen like crazy, right, during these 2 years. 4 is training and education. For me, I'm a trainer at heart, educator at heart. And then 10 will be reduce inequalities, meaning vulnerable groups, disadvantaged sectors. For me, I work with the ex-offenders and the youth at risk. What is yours? Let's talk about the wealth dynamics, because this is the signature, the flagship product. And today I will just open it up, give you a bird's eye view of it, tell you that there are what are the 8 types of wealth creators or entrepreneurs, and then have a very quick overview and maybe interaction on this. Again, as the country leader, I have the rights to run this locally. And if you are interested to be a certified consultant, flow consultant with me, that would be very, very cool. I'm looking for people. Okay. So basically, the wealth dynamics is the world's #1 profiling tool for entrepreneurs. This one of all the different profiling tools out there measures entrepreneurship. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to be just an entrepreneur solo, in order to use or to understand this. It also is used for intrapreneurship. So there's a sister profiling tool called Talent Dynamic. So it's great for bosses and employers who want to take this and start profiling your teams, because if you can put them together and integrate, it becomes a mighty force, to be successful and efficient. Okay, so it's divided into these 4 quadrants. And you will see that there are 8 types all at the side. Now, would you agree with me that just because someone is successful in a particular field in his business, it doesn't mean that we have to follow his style. You agree with me, right? I mean, Donald Trump has his own style. So does Mark Zuckerberg, right? And if you bring it down to local, for example, if you look at, say, someone like my good friend Elim Chew, right? Over the last 2 decades, she has carved her own niche in retail and then now in F&B. Yeah. Does that mean that I have to follow her style? Yeah. Or let's say Adam Khoo, you see him talk a lot and train a lot. He speaks a lot on videos now. Does that mean I have to do the same? No, right? Because he may be a star, which is down here, okay, which is fronting. A star simply means, it doesn't mean celebrity status, it simply means the type and the profile of someone who is very comfortable in front of people and he shines on the product. But a star alone, working alone, is useless because he's not supposed to bring the limelight upon himself. That's a very what we call that. That's the backfiring process, right? You're supposed to shine the light on a product or service, and that's why the star cannot work on his own, right? It doesn't mean just influencer, and that's the biggest misnomer, because a lot of entrepreneurs in different business schools or courses, they thought that in order to gain more traffic, you got to be more visible, and therefore you need to create more content, go on social media, post things, post that. And you will know that I don't do that, right? I hate doing that. I thought, I have to keep coming up with different videos and be very active on social media. I even closed down my Instagram, a few years ago. And Facebook is almost as good as dead for me. It's just a means to post up certain announcements and all that. And I only use social media strictly for marketing, not for social. So that's me. And you don't need to adopt my style. It's because I'm more of a creator and a creator mechanic. Yeah, I'm not in front. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So the star is the one that is front, right? So are you that type? Because if you're not, you better not. Because this whole flow, energy or entrepreneur flow, what happens is that if you're not focusing and signing your energy on a certain area of strength, yeah, or your dominant talent, then you're spending it and mismanaging your energy on other areas that may not be your strength, and you're underdeveloping your strength. So that's why it's so important to identify which one you are. The Wealth Dynamics profiling tool is, if you go to the website, is $97 US, but under me and under this program is already part and parcel of EAP, and so it's free. Yeah, and then the supporter may not be a star, but the supporter is great at drawing people and building teams. So it's a team builder. Later on, I'll go through one by one because I do have a kind of a chart and descriptor. The deal maker is someone who's very good at establishing partnerships, strategic partnerships that bring businesses and flow to your business. The trader is very good with timing. So you can see like that's very sensorial here, timing. He knows how to buy low and sell high, so to speak. So business deals, he is great at doing that. And then the accumulator is someone who knows a sense of a long-term investment. So he accumulates wealth, he doesn't hoard, he accumulates, and then he knows what areas, what businesses are good for long-term gains. So he doesn't just anyhow hoard different things, only those that he knows. So he peers into the future as well, and he knows how to chart a long-term trajectory. Someone like Warren Buffett, for example, is great at this. And then the Lord is a very detailed, meticulous person and looks into different aspects of a business that requires tweaking, and he's a great analyzer. Okay, great analyst. And then of course we've got mechanic, and mechanic is quite similar to Lord, but except that the mechanic knows how to improve systems. He knows how to not get stuck with traditional forms of processes, and it's great with tech. Okay, so let's take a look at each one. So once again, the creator. Now, if you want to take screenshot, once again, it's totally up to you. If not, at the program, we'll relook into this and you'll get a pack for yourself as well. Creators are okay. They are plus and minus. There's pros and cons. So creators also create chaos. They keep changing. like me. But during COVID, I had the time of my life because I could innovate and change quickly. I wasn't stuck at anything. I'm very good at I'm not say very good, but I have no problem slaying the sacred cow. Some of us, I know you say, but this worked for me, so long ago, and all these years it's been loyal and good. Well, times change, right? Landscapes change. So you also need to learn how to let go. So this is the creator. The stars are best at promoters. They are great at sales. They are the live streamers, the vloggers, right? Social Instagrammers. So, but and need to lead from the front. Give them the chance to shine and give them the space to deliver results without tying them down. So they're very free spirit now. The problem is that there's so many free spirit. I know so many free spirit stars, influencers, Instagrammers. No business. Okay, no business. Yeah, so what? Their post gets viral. So what? Right? So what? So they don't know how to tie in. And I can tell you, for some of us who are here, the big group of us are from BBSG FC here, Future Coach. Of some very good influencer type, right? But there's no business behind them. And then the supporters, these are great. So I can't work myself, right? Creators. I'm a creator, I need supporters, so I've got people, and I'm constantly looking out for them. One great one who's not here today is Yi Jian. I think most of you know who she is, and she runs my social impact arm. Another one is Amelina. She's not here today as well, and I'm constantly looking out, and I've got about 4 or 5 different ones because I know I work best with them. They need to work with creators because they on their own, they are great at executing and tying up the teams, but they need the vision. So if you are a supporter and a great supporter, then you should stick to focusing on your strength and go find a creator that can innovate products for you. Don't sit around going on Google and YouTube and trying to find products and create your own products. Go find best practices and go work with these people. And you may not be a star, go find a star to partner so that he or she can be in the front. Behind every Adam Khoo is a strong supporter. Okay, behind every like Eric Feng or even this up and coming rising marketing guru, his name is Melvin. So he keeps going to the front, right? The EDM and all the promotions and all the videos on YouTube. But behind him is a very strong supporter and creator. Like Josiah. All these people don't know. Adam Khoo's number one man is Patrick. Right? You don't know, but he is behind the scenes pulling all the systems and all that. So you can't just work on yourself. Then you got the deal maker, and the deal maker are the best peacemakers. They not only protect the culture of the team, but they bring in strategic partners. They know exactly how to position each one so that they flourish. So this is the flourisher. For the longest time, I didn't have a deal maker because as a creator, I create chaos, but a deal maker creates peace, stability, right? So these are the very good people managers and team builders. Now the other 4, the trader. I told you the trader are the best negotiators. And some of the most lucrative, even the richest business people that I know with, I belong to one network group. There are about 10 of us, so it's like a mastermind group, 10 to 12 of us. And half of them are traders, man. You don't know them, you don't know their names, but you know their businesses. Okay, you've probably seen some of the ambassadors, but they are the CEOs. They sit around and they just trade. They are constantly looking at trading. And one of our members here, he cannot make it because he's on reservist, but he's joined the group, EAP. His name is Keith. Okay, Keith is one of the sales managers in this group. Okay, it's a training company, one of the top 5. Okay, so I won't say the name, but so the training company has 100 staff. Okay, 80 to 100 staff. I don't know what happened during the pandemic, but they were doing very good, about 2.5 decades old already. So I asked, wow, you've got 80 over trainers. I suppose you're a training company. I would suppose you have majority trainers, right? That's your business. He said, I only got 5 trainers, training leads, head trainers. I said, 80 staff, 5 trainers, the rest do what? The rest are all sales. Okay, so he focuses on working with he trades different trainers. So I look at his trainer profile, there are about 300 over trainers on this list. He said for each one, I know what they're good at, and I negotiate a deal with them. I negotiate a contract, terms with them, each one of them. Okay, and it's not like he's very shrewd and self-indulgent. No, he makes sure it's win-win all the time, and the trainers love him. So anyway, he's great at that. Now, if you're not that, don't go and try and do that, because all your deals and contracts might backfire. But if you're that type of person, focus on that and bring in the stars, bring in your team. Okay, so that's the trader. And then they go out and vie for contracts and tenders. The accumulator are the best ambassadors. They are reliable, get things done on time, and don't make rash decisions. So one thing about accumulators is that they're very logical. They depend a lot on the facts. They're not emotional buyers. They don't go out and buy on impulse. They make the best project managers. When a task or a project needs to be delivered reliably on time, on budget, and they get things organized. So the accumulator is great for that. I've got 1 or 2 accumulators. I constantly look out for event managers and project managers, because these are the days and times going forward, new norm for project management, because many services are on demand now. It's work on demand. So he brings in all the people together with the together with the deal maker, and they organize themselves and they run projects very profitable. The lot are the best analysts. Now you need them. I previously was in this category because they will scrutinize the work. So he's a systems guy and he will do it very well. When you need to count on keeping a score, give the job to the lot, they will always be the most reliable to keep track on the production, the process, and the outcomes of it. So this is pure work. The mechanic is just like the lot asset mechanics. They can complete stuff and they can improve processes. They wrap up a process and find smart ways to do it better, cheaper, more efficient, right? But don't ask a mechanic to start from scratch. Give them an existing process. So the creator is the one that can start from scratch, start from empty. They innovate. And if you're not a creator and you're more of a mechanic, go look for existing ones. Go partner up with different projects, or go look at your old projects and start improving on them, and work with a creator to bring in the innovation. Okay, don't work by yourself. Okay, good. So these are the 8 types. In your chat box, is it possible for you to just key in who do you think you are as the top? So once again, I'll go back to this page so that you can see all the 8 here. Who do you think you are? We've got a guide, a 40-page guidebook. How many of you would like this? It's a 40-page guidebook. Let me see whether I have it here. Yeah, PDF. Look at that. It is very incisive and it tells you how to forge strategic partnerships. Just using this alone, you will jumpstart 50% in your opportunities alone. You're creating opportunities. You've got videos as well. Roger, oh, he looks so young, 10 years ago. Yeah, okay. So how many of you would like this? I mean, if you don't want, it's fine, because I've got to find it and then pump it to you guys. Okay, so it's a very good complement to the actual test that you do, because the test is a very science-based, data-driven test. It's not like guessing game here. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. I'm an accumulator, I'm a creator. It's not what you want. It's really measuring your strength at a scientific and empirical level. All right, and then after that, you use the guidebook, and then we can form our own practitioner or community of learners. And of course, in our EAP, we'll go through this all the time. We'll probably run projects, we'll probably run partnerships, and vie for jobs, etc. Okay, so you guys want this, right? the Genius Guide. I think there's an updated version 2 years ago. I hope that he did one during the COVID, but if not, this is great. He will also map this across to the 4 elements. Can you see steel, dynamo, blaze, tempo? Because a lot of these come from the old ancient Chinese, the elements. And at this point in time, I want to kind of share something very exciting as well. I think it's so new. It's like fresh off the oven, right? 1st of January, there's this group also, the founder of Wealth Flow Sand Table is a simulation game. Actually tied up with Roger, because firstly he was a mentee and a student, and now he's run his own using the same talent and wealth dynamics. And guess what? Jones is a accredited licensed facilitator of this. Jones is here, is my partner as well. And I have just recently only, just these few days, decided that this should also come into EAP. So we will host this during the bootcamp and even after. Jones, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and just share a little bit of what this is, because this is a simulation game. It's not just a profiling tool. And this is so powerful because you're actually projecting your life and simulating the next 30, 40 years. Jones, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Thanks, Glenn. Spot on, Glenn. Hello, everybody. Good morning on a Saturday. Yeah, so let me quickly do a quick sharing, right? So I came across, encountered this wealth flow simulation last year, right? So, and I didn't know it's created in China for now, right? So, and then I played. At first I thought it was like a cash flow, Robert Kiyosaki kind of thing, but I was so wrong. And Glenn is exactly correct in putting into place to say that you actually have a projection. So if I have a one-liner of what this simulation tool, yes, it's look like a board game. People treat it as a board game, but to me, it's really a development tool. And as Glenn had mentioned, 1st Jan, they announced that they are working with Roger Hamilton with the Wealth Dynamics system. So what it does is, it gives you a chance to review your past. Okay, so you learn from your history, you learn from your experience, life experience, all the decisions you make. At the same time, during the simulation, you have a chance to review your present strategy. So reflect from the past, review the present, and then you rehearse for the future that you want. So in the game itself, right, you will be tested on your financial quotient, your EQ, emotional intelligence. You will be tested on your adversity, your resilience, your way of thinking, your subconscious and the decision making and the cause and impact, and also negotiation and partnership collaboration. There's so many things that will go on in this simulation. So normally it will last from 60 minutes to 90 minutes. And then after that, there is a wealth flow coach. That's my role. I went for the training, and then now I'm the division leader for Singapore, right? So one of the first, I'm the first actually, in terms of the division leader. And so basically that's what the whole simulation can do for you. And it ties in very nicely. So what Glenn have mentioned about the Wealth Dynamic, the 8 profile, right? You can see in action straight away. So the good news is, we can make the mistake in the business entrepreneur journey on the board game, on the sand table itself, so that we can save our resources and time and don't get hurt so much. Then you take the learning and apply in real life. That's how powerful this wealth flow sand table is. Yep. So a quick introduction. Thanks, Glenn.
Hey, thanks, man, Jones. Awesome. I'm very excited about this because firstly, again, according to Roger's philosophy of high tech, high touch, this one gives you the human experience, right? I mean, I've had it with Zoom actually, and I can't wait to meet you all face to face. And we're going to host this. I think there's no problem hosting this firstly at Genius Central, our cafe. But more importantly, as a entrepreneur tool, I think this is so important. The last kind of a game that I played was called the Life Game. I'm not sure how many of you played that before. It's a life simulation game, right? About your purpose, your mission, and what you're going to do with the next 40, 30, 20 years of your life. When I played this years ago, the facilitator told me, you want to make mistakes in life because you only got one shot, you may as well make it in the game. Don't make it in real life. So costly because time, as you know, right, once gone is gone forever. You can't rewind. It's the most costly resource and commodity that you have. So same here with your business. I mean, you don't want to keep making mistakes, even though that's part and parcel of your journey to success. But what if you can do that on a board right now, and then you can project, you can forecast, and then rehearse I like the word used, rehearse in the theater of your mind, in the frameworks of your business plan, how you're going to navigate. Okay, so we're going to have this. Again, it's chargeable, but then under the EAP program, it will all be covered as a lump sum, which I'm going to share with you later on. So thanks, Jones. I'm looking forward to this partnership. 2022 is so exciting. Okay, this is the most precious of today's teaching. None of you have seen this. None. Not even my insider. Okay, because it's 2 months old, 1.5 months old, 2 months. This was developed in conjunction with what I'm working with Genius U and Genius Central, because this was downloaded directly from Roger, and it's meant for the 2022 model new norm. So this is a post-pandemic new norm. We have to behave and work as if we are in post-pandemic times. That's why we call ourselves the future of entrepreneurship, right? We're not in the past. So we cannot behave like COVID. Like, oh, this is a Zoom, so Zoom all the way. No, we have to prepare ourselves and posture ourselves for new norm. We're going to talk about the typical new norm business sequence right here. Typically, there are 5 stages. Under each stage, there are subcategories. We won't go into that. But as long as you have this bird's eye view of the overview of this map, there will always be a direction for you. Okay, and that's more important than getting every stage crystal clear. So, utilizing high tech and high touch. Obviously, now you cannot say no to a website or to a landing page. So we all our businesses require some kind of landing page, because the landing page assures that people can be channeled there. And that's why you see this flow, this sequence. You want to channel people into your landing page. Now, a landing page is useless if there's no opt-in button and an opt-in form where they can fill up details. So how you craft your landing page, the copy and the text is so important. Copywriting is basically persuasive writing, so that at the end of your copy or your message, there is a clear CTA, a call to action to do something, to go somewhere, to take some action somehow. And usually we want their data. So this is part of data mining. It's the new way of data mining to capture particulars. So we call that leads, lead generation. Then you want to send them somewhere. Now, you can stop short at just CTA them to download a free book, for example, and you already got their lead, their particulars. And that's fine if that's your purpose, but it doesn't make business sense, because you want to channel them so that they can flow all the way to a stage where you can call them customers. So the next stage is usually an event. I put down an open inverted commas because an event can be a term used for so many things. It can be a webinar, it can be a seminar, it could be a live event or project that you do, but any reason and platform where you can make contact. And we call this human contact, not just post a video and they watch a video. That's not an event. An event can be an appointment. So for independent professionals like financial agents, property, even MLM networking professionals, you want an appointment. That is an event. Okay, and I can tell you, for financial agents, a live in-person appointment is expensive. They pay digital marketing agencies for live human appointments. That means all the way to the appointment itself. They will pay up to, I don't know, $30-40 even. For ads and all that, they go for street canvassing. They will pay street pullers to dangle some kind of keychain, some kind of USB for you to sit down at Burger King so that they take down your particulars, because that becomes a lead and followed up with an appointment. So whatever event it is, I'm helping someone in his physiotherapy business. So an event is basically a free trial for his physiotherapy consultation. So a free consultation worth half an hour, 30 minutes. That's an event. The person has got to come and he does his consultation. And then the person maybe follow up because at the event, the business owner will then present his offer. Again, it's a CTA, an offer to say, hey, this is my package. And then follow up after that, because a follow-up, especially a high-touch follow-up strategy like a call, like a sales call and a closure would mean that he would become a customer, and then you follow up after that with servicing him. He becomes a client, and it's CRM, client relationship management. You don't give him up, he becomes part of your pool, he becomes part of your aquarium. So I use a fishing metaphor as well. I talk about going out fishing. On the left hand side here, you are going to the deep sea or you're going to different ponds. It depends on who your client is. So you need to have a target profile. And so in our marketing module, you will definitely need to understand his avatar, his persona. You have to psychograph him. You got to telegraph him. You got to know his interests, his habits, his behaviors. You got to know his psychological internal drives, his motives, okay? His pain and push buttons, his pain buttons. And then, so he becomes a client. From the big ocean, you are bringing him into your using different bait strategies, and then like the hook and bait, and then you keep him now in your aquarium. There's a difference between a pond and an aquarium. Aquarium is where you have control. Okay, so you need to create your aquarium system. Is it a data system that you have? And if you don't, just go and get a free automated like a MailChimp or MailerLite. Okay, so my advice to some of you, right? You all consult with me. In my other classes, I say do not go for MailChimp now, because the different suppliers, different vendors have different strengths and weaknesses, and we don't go for MailChimp simply because when you shoot out the mail, the delivery is not strong. It doesn't go to every email, especially if it's government or those with .gov or some MNC company as well. So I always tell you guys that when you collect emails, collect personal emails like Gmail, Yahoo, is all fine. Personal emails are the best. But MailChimp has a problem with delivering. So their delivery is not optimal. So we go for MailerLite. And it's free for the first, I think, 1,000 subscribers. So go for all those things. You need to build that up. Then you can only do your CRM. Now, what is an aquarium? Aquarium is not you get the fish, then you eat the fish, and then that's it, finish, right? No, you get the fish in, you don't eat it yet, you sayang the fish, you grow the fish, because that fish can give birth to many other fishes through referral, word of mouth, etc. The whole point is to grow your fish tank, your aquarium. Okay, so let's take a look right now. Landing page. Where do they come in from? We call it omni-channel nowadays. We don't just call it digital marketing. So it's multi-platform or integrated platform. It can come from like chat groups, Telegram, so mobile sources. Okay, and there's community. Obviously, social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok can or not? TikTok can or not? If I got our friend here, he will tell you cannot for two reasons, right? Number one, unless you have a very clear target identity that you are going for, because TikTok is for the younger generation. I'm not saying that you can't go for them. So you're very clear with the profile who you're going for, the fish. And number two, TikTok is very social in nature, unlike so the algorithms are different from Facebook. Yeah, Facebook you can target, audience targeting. But TikTok is more viewership, viewers. Okay, never mind. Maybe that one will organize a masterclass for you guys. Anyway, social media is one key platform. Paid ads, paid ads. How about the rest? your database, your aquarium. So from here, you link it back to here. If you have a strong database, and a strong database means 1,000 and above. 1,000 and above. And if you use MailerLite or MailChimp, 1,000 means you have to start subscribing. You got to pay a monthly fee. It's a membership fee. Yeah. So that is your database. And then of course, different like word of mouth, etc. So you got to do all these omni-channel. It has to be timed. It needs to be sequenced. It cannot be staggered and then, misaligned and people don't, your branding is not strong there. So then they come to like, okay, let's take a look at your customer journey. So I integrate this with the top part, the customer journey. So in a sales funnel, we call this first stage traffic. So you're going for traffic. And the more traffic you go for, the more volume. It's a volumes game, the more you can funnel. Now, obviously, you can have, like say, 1,000 eyeballs on your landing page or on your ads, your paid ads on Facebook. It doesn't mean 1,000 will come into your landing page, right? Because you got to convert traffic to leads. So leads are, okay, write this down or help me type in the chat box. Leads are anyone who give you their name, their number, and their email. Three things, that's all. Write down, please. Leads are anyone who gives you their name, mobile number, and their email address, and preferably personal email address. Okay? Now, I know some of you might want more. Address, etc. And obviously now IC cannot, right? Because of PDPA. But remember, the more fields for them to fill up, the higher the dropout rate. So the basic is those three: name, number, and email. After that, in your landing page, your website. So guys, I call it LP, landing page. I don't call it website. You don't spend so much money on website. In fact, you don't need a website, a proper website. Unless, of course, your salon, massage, I don't know. Those kind of businesses, F&B, then you probably need one, a basic one. But if not, most of the time nowadays, you don't need a pretty website first. You don't spend that kind of money on that. You spend it on a page. It could be a web page, a landing page. If you've got an existing website, your landing page is a ghost page. You don't put it on the front home page. We'll teach you how to do that. The point is the landing page is very specific in the message. And the message has got to do with the event. So let's say you want to do coaching, like maybe financial coaching. Your event would then be either a webinar that has value, maybe just 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Remember, people's time is precious. It's a currency that they're going to give you. It's actually expensive. When people give you time, you don't say things like, oh yeah, just give me time only. Then it's something that they're giving you in exchange for something else. So we treat it like a currency. You turn time into trust, remember? Anyway, so you can do the webinar event or you can do an appointment. Appointment is more personal. So there's a higher value of human touch and human connectivity. I'll talk about that a bit later. Anyway, you come back to the landing page. So you must be very clear what is the CTA of your page. You want him to go where? You want him to sign up for what? You want him to click for what? Because he's going to start to exchange his lead, his details for something. Now, if you just want to end it here, that means you end off here without event or that, then your landing page must still lead them to do something. Download a free coupon. Even a coupon leads to an event, right? Ben and Jerry's does that. A&W last time they do that. Download your free coupon, download your free root beer or ice cream, and then go and redeem it at the nearest outlet. They want you to go somewhere for an event. But if it's just a digital gift and you're just lead generation, then it stops here lah. From traffic, just go to leads because you're building up your aquarium. But I can tell you, they are not qualified leads. They're not warm. They're just cold fishes here and there. They don't know who you are, right? Okay. Anyway, they sign up. When they sign up, doesn't mean they show up. Those who show up are prospects. Hey guys, you guys, there are about 15 of you guys here, right? oh, sorry, 16 of you guys in this room, you show up. So in a way, if this is a new event, like public event, all you 16 people, 17 people are my prospects. Prospects are always warm. Okay. So out of the 16 who showed up, actually 25 signed up for today. I mean, there were actually just 15 of you, right? Because through word of mouth or through calls, because I know you guys, my insider. This one is a special insider, so it's a poor reference, but never mind. We'll use this example. Then I opened up something last minute, late notice yesterday on my EDM. I'm not sure how many of you are subscribed to my EDMs, but I send out regularly every week. I keep it a discipline to write and create content. So I sent out something last minute because I know last minute I may capture a few, 1 or 2. And I think 1 or 2 of you are here because of that. I think 2 or 3 of you as well, right? So that's out of 25, 16 of you, 17 of you are my prospect. Always differentiate the two. A sign up does not equate a show up. I got the metrics to give you. I think some of you who are from my future coach, you have seen my metric before. Yeah, 20%. Show up is 40 to 50%. That is a metric you go for. Anyway, from the event, you can teach, you can share value, you can give. Yeah, you can like Ben and Jerry's, you get a free code, but they will always have another offer or a CTA, because I teach you guys that every stage you must have a CTA for the next. It's just an opportunity for you to go to the next, for you to bring your customer on the next stage of the journey. And so when it is a sales, let's say if it's a sales, then you have to follow up and close the sales loop. So this person becomes the customer. Now, what is the definition of a customer? And I always teach this because some of you, it still amazes me. I keep teaching this, right? Some of you still make the same mistake. You tell me, oh yeah, 2 people show interest because they signed up on the form. I say, no money, no customer. A customer is someone who gives the money. The moment a customer sends over the money, the invoice is fulfilled, I will immediately switch heads and serve my customer. The attention is fully, I'm committed because I'm customer centric, you see. But if the money is not transferred yet, there's no transaction yet, I cannot, because I have to focus on other customers or other clients. So you want to turn the customer, after serving him, of course, you have to add value. At every stage, you need to add value, and the customer you must serve. In fact, an old idiom or a principle by Ron Kaufman, if you know Ron Kaufman, the sales guru, he lives in Singapore. In the past 20 years, he says, delight the customer. What does it mean? You have to serve and delight because a transaction has been made. So you delight a customer so much so, and delight simply means add value, add massive value. Go above and beyond. In fact, Ron Kaufman and a few of the industry players years ago, they came up with GEMs, and that was for the business economy in Singapore. It says service oriented. Go above. Okay, what is it? Go the extra mile. Okay, GEM means go the extra mile. You don't just meet the mediocre benchmark. You go above and beyond. Then he becomes your client. I think insurance salespeople know this because they are on the street level. They are really the gung-ho entrepreneurs who take action, and they realize the value and how precious a client is. Okay, because a client, if you cultivate right relationship, CRM becomes LTV. What's a LTV? A long-term or a lifetime value client. Okay, so traffic, leads, prospect, customer, client. We will use this sequence for 95% of all businesses, SMEs, in your first 3 stages. In your first 3 stages. Now, not only that, I'm not over yet. Below, I'm going to talk about your roles. So, will you agree with me that these five stations of the sequence also clearly maps out the different functions and the roles you need to play as an entrepreneur? You need to be a strong marketer here. Wouldn't you agree? In fact, you need to leverage on marketing tools. You need to be very technical here because landing pages are technical pages, UI, UX. Okay, and even if you don't have a proper UI, UX, then at least you must have a form, a social media form, and at the very least, at the very bottom, you need a Google form. That's as, idiot-proof as you get. You take a Google form free, you do it up, but it's very manual. So I move on from that already. Or Eventbrite. Many of you sign up for the Eventbrite here. It takes 10 minutes, for goodness sake, 10, 15 minutes. Get the right pictures and images. And if you don't want images, also fine. 10 minutes to set it up and then quickly send out the link. The point is you need a landing page. You need people to land somewhere. So you need some technical skills. At the event side, you need to coordinate. You need administration strength. You need to know how to produce and deliver the event. If I'm doing a webinar, then I have to put together my product, right? My program. So earlier on, we talked about project management, event management, administrative calls, confirmations, reminders. Then follow up and close. You need what kind of skill? Obviously, with customers, you need sales. So salesmanship, your sales skills, communication skills, and objection handling skills. And then with clients, you need service. You need to be a good servicer, right? So all these requires different functions, these stages. Like I said, the first two levels, the first two stages, from startup to grow up, you sometimes need to do everything. But what if you identify your roles very clearly, your strengths, for example, using the wealth dynamics, right? There are 8 types. And what you're strong in, you focus, you use it. And what you're not strong in, can you leverage? Can you work with others? Yeah, you can hire 1 or 2, but be careful. Usually I will do that first for this because that takes up a lot of my time. But how about marketing and technical? Maybe I need to outsource to someone at the start, right? Because you can't possibly be focusing your time there, then you can't do this. You can't do your program. You will also see the areas that enable you, the elements that support your sequence. Down here, usually we use tech or DG enablement. So they are tech enabled. And then, of course, you cannot overlook high touch. The human engagement needs to be here. Together, we call this O2O model, online to offline, but frankly, that term is going to be, frankly, the O2O model term is not going to be applicable anymore. So we talk a lot about high tech, high touch. This, once again, is the EAP. We don't call it training, we call it a program because it's more than training, as you can see. In fact, the big bulk of EAP is actually coaching, especially group coaching and masterminding. Again, all the tools, the wireframes, all those things that I taught you earlier on is yours for free because you can even download it. I will pass you the PowerPoints, the sequence. You will have to use that framework to plot in where you're at. So all this is valued at $9,100. The bootcamp, let's talk about the bootcamp very quickly. Give me 1 minute. Was slated for this month, January. I think I called some of you and told you that is as good as impossible because New Year and then straight away Chinese New Year next week. So we don't want that kind of distraction. But the bootcamp is modeled after Bali, where the Entrepreneur Resorts is headquartered. There are 2 villas there. We were supposed to wait for post-COVID, send people over there for retreats. It's not cheap. It's always in $4,000 to $5,000 US dollars because it's a 5-day healthy retreat, spa some more. There's a massage thing there, and it's always small groups. It's for them, it's about 15 to 20 people, highly selected. What they call crystal circle, inner circle groups, and Roger will fly there as well. So for us in Singapore, we just have to do it here, right? And it's shortened version is 3 days, 2 nights, but the guarantee is that it's at least a 4-star. I know we've used this place twice really for various activities. It's wonderful. It's a nice retreat. I always talk about the immersive environment, and the environment is so important because the context by which you build things and you engage your mind in is so important. Some of you are wellness coaches here, right? Hong Ling, and you know how important that is. If you're at home in familiar environments, you just don't have that kind of energy and imagination. So what we do is I'm also a trained LGAT, facilitator, large or small group awareness training, and I've done that overseas, Thailand, Indonesia. And so for me, the smaller the group, the more precise and the more intentional it can be. Yeah, I don't like to fill up rooms. So I'm going to look for 10 people. Already it's half filled up already. In fact, 6 of you are already here in this room. So I'm just looking for a few more to fill up this. So here it is. The dates is February 18, 19, 20. It's right smack in the middle of the month. Just enough breathing space after Chinese New Year for you to wind down and focus on your business. And then after that, in February, we'll kick off the 6 months. So we don't count January. Today is a training, but then we call this a Jumpstarter, almost like an orientation. February onwards, it will be 6 full months of building our relationship in this community, starting with this camp 18, 19, 20. Every middle of the month, what we call the third Saturday of the month, like this, today Saturday, we will have a Zoom. We will have a training just like this. And then we will have a group coaching as well. This is where we're going to pick every single one of you as case studies. We're going to map it on a whiteboard. We'll solicit co-generating ideas. And then ultimately, maybe 1 or 2 partners will come in to kickstart your program, okay, to your business. So 18, 19, 20th Feb. And one more time, the price point, there is always a price point, right? The price that we're putting it at a public level, not this early part of the year, but once this kicks off and I'm going to need assistance, I'm going to need the original seniors like you guys, it will be $2,390 because we have identified and confirmed that this will be the price point going up. But I did say to most of you here, if you're interested, and those of you who are already on the inside, this is as good as free. So mark my words, 6 months is free. All you're doing is pay the cost. So in a way, this model is called SLO, a self-liquidating offer for 6 months. This is not a touch and go. This is not a WSQ course. I require your time. Okay, I require you to sit in as not a spectator, but someone who is committed to the growth of the community as well. So I will have to offline. I can't sell it here. Okay. Any questions?